Hey guys, welcome back to the Doug and Corey Show.
In this video, we're going to do an open spoiler discussion for Agatha All Along.
Is Teen an agent of Mephisto?
Stick around. All right, guys, so the first 3 episodes of Agatha All Along have been released, and we're going to have a little bit of an open spoiler discussion about it.
Yep, so go check those out if you haven't seen them yet, then come back and watch this video.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying it. It's got some cool action for what it is. It's kind of spooky a little bit,
Yeah.
you know?
There's, we're going to jump to the 3rd episode all of a sudden, but
we just watched it.
In this latest episode, there's definitely some scenes that were a little creepy. There's definitely some suspense. I'm really liking the tone of the show.
Yeah, so we can go back a little bit now.
Yeah.
To start from the beginning, it starts off kind of more of a drama, like a detective show.
It's like very Mayor of Easttown, yeah.
Yeah, so but it's a Westview. And so Agatha sees herself as a detective trying to solve this murder of this body, which the toe tag said ended up saying W. Maximoff, and it was like a book, a checkout book from like a library, right?
Yeah. There was a lot of lines too about how she died. Something heavy fell on her.
Yeah, we all got the feeling that it was Wanda.
Yeah, and it's like, but she's really dead, right? She's dead. Like they're kind of like trying to talk about Wanda getting crushed in Wundagore Mountain, and yeah. So it's definitely hinted at being Wanda.
Yeah, this show's very well written. WandaVision's great.
Yeah.
This show's great as well.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. There's, people, were saying it's a musical. It does have some musical elements, but mostly so far it's been not too musical.
Yeah, I mean there's the
just the Witches Road song.
The Witches Road song, yeah,
which is cool. I liked it actually. I like that song.
Yeah, no, it was good. But yeah, it's definitely, I wouldn't call this a musical. A musical typically is like songs throughout it are telling the story, and this was just literally a song they had to sing for something. So far, I wouldn't call it a musical.
Sure. That's kind of what they hinted at before it came out. So
yeah, there may be
not so much of a musical as of yet.
There may be more later on. I mean, what's it,
Probably
6 episodes total or more? 8?
I don't recall. I'll put it up there on the screen.
Yeah. But either way, yeah.
It's
so
probably
far,
like 8. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. So then Rio Vidal, which is Aubrey Plaza's character, comes in as another detective to help her on the case, and she's like, "Is this really how you see yourself?" Like,
yeah,
because she knows that she's under this hex. But Agatha's starting to see stuff, like she's literally like humming the Witches Road song in the beginning, and there's like little things that she's doing where it's like makes sense that she's under this like spell.
Yeah.
But she hasn't quite figured it out, and they're trying to help her realize that she has to get herself out of it. She has to dig herself out of this hole.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's between Rio, it's also her and Teen, the character.
Yeah.
Help her get out.
Teen actually, I think, ultimately is the one who completely breaks the hex because he's chanting in Latin. Basically, I think I saw a video talking about what he was saying. Basically, like release
this woman of her curse.
Yeah. So he was chanting something in Latin that ended up kind of ultimately breaking her free. But like you said, before she was officially broken out of it, little things were like changing in her environment. Things that like you might not even notice, like the picture of a little boy on her table that changed later onto a plant in the next scene. So like little things were starting to kind of like change.
She was trapped in her own mind essentially, and just trying to live out all these different eras, and so she has to like she works her way through all the different eras that she was in WandaVision, and finally gets free, and then she's kind of naked for a little bit in that first episode.
That was pretty funny. She's just running around, she didn't care. Neighbors are like, whoa.
Agnes.
That was pretty funny because we find out that like all the stuff she's been seeing this whole time, her neighbors weren't seeing it. They were freed of the hex.
Yeah.
But she was still trapped in it. And so everything that was happening early on in that first episode, the murder case she was on, all this stuff wasn't really happening, you know? Like she had pictures of the body and it ended up being
the library,
like plants or whatever,
she could have just walked into that lady's house, who knows,
Yeah. She probably did.
Dottie, and I think I saw something of saying that Dottie, could come back and possibly be someone that has one of the dark holds because she was the librarian or whatever.
Yeah,
and
maybe
all the copies were burned or whatever as she went to look for them.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to find out all the back. We're gonna see some other stuff, I think, in the town. There's been some scenes in the trailers and stuff of kind of re-showing those scenes that already happened, but like slightly different perspective. So
I think they're going to show from Teen's perspective, at some point too. Broke into her house and then getting chased down or whatever.
See some of the things that were going on outside of the hex.
Yeah, so kind of cool.
Yeah.
Teen we're all pretty sure is Billy Kaplan at this point. We kind of discussed this a little bit. Like his mouth gets covered, so he's got a sigil protecting who he is, so they don't know who he is for sure. But definitely looks like he says in the last one, it looks like he says Billy, or it's like something shorter.
Yeah, like maybe he doesn't say his full name this time, just says Billy only. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that the other witches seem quite intrigued that he's got a sigil on him. Like that could mean that he's something
special,
very important or special. Yeah.
If he is Billy Kaplan, he becomes Wiccan for sure, and Wiccan's a very powerful wizard up there with Wanda.
Yeah. I mean, there's already been a lot of discussion about like their costumes really holding a lot of clues as to who they are and things about them. And the one for me that really gives away that he's probably a Wiccan or will become Wiccan is the pants, the stars and stuff down the side of his pants. And then Wiccan has like a galaxy.
He has the star in his sweater as well.
Yeah, a little pentagram
star.
Yeah. So I think it's very likely that he is. I think we also see a scene of him standing over a pentagram with his hands glowing, which is very reminiscent of some of the actual panels in the comic book.
Yeah. So a little bit about, because their story for Billy and Tommy when they grow up in the comics is a little bit convoluted and extensive. So there's plenty of videos and stuff out there.
Spans much longer time than they have in these 8 episodes.
Yeah. So after WandaVision, Wanda's lost her kids. Billy and Tommy, Maximoff. In the comics, their spirits go into Billy Kaplan and Tommy Shepard and come Wiccan and Speed. And something similar to like this seemed like they're doing in the show, but it seems like it may be possibly Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch, that his spirit may be the one that's inside of Teen.
Yeah, it's very likely. And we got kind of some early hints that maybe Agatha sacrificed her child to get a hold of the Darkhold, and it seems like that was probably confirmed.
Yeah.
Still like a rumor, but I mean, they straight up said that's what she did. So, and whether Teen is concerned because someone's starting to figure things out, or if it's because he's starting to realize that Agatha's maybe not as good of a witch as he thought, like it's kind of interesting because he definitely seemed a little concerned when he was hearing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I'm enjoying it for sure. So backtrack a little bit. So after she's nude, she's wondering why she has no powers. She's finally back into her own mind. She's pissed off. So she's trying to figure out like how to get her powers back. She's kind of just trying to hide. And then when she comes across Teen and he wants to go to the witch's road, she starts to think about it a little bit more. Like she's like, wait, like maybe I can get my powers back. You know, like if this kid dies, whatever. I don't care about these people. I just got to assemble a coven. And apparently for a coven, they have to all be within 3 miles of each other or something like that.
Well, no, it wasn't that they have to be. She was saying that there's that many witches around that there's always going to be within 3 miles enough witches to make a coven.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I don't know that she really was interested in making a coven. I think she didn't think it was going to work, but she knew that they were all witches, and I think she really just wanted.
Well, then she found out the Salem 7 was coming for after Rio tried to kill her.
Well, even then, I think she just wanted to steal. She tried to piss them off to get them to attack her so she could steal their magic. Like, I think that was really what she intended to happen. I don't think she thought the road was actually going to open because they weren't like she didn't see them as like a legit coven, and they had to be to open the road. But it worked. Like she didn't think it was going to work, and it did. And I think that kind of surprised her. And then that kind of like solidified, like, crap, we are kind of like a coven now, like, I don't think that was ever her intention. I think she just wanted to steal their power.
Yeah. And then she also was definitely trying to get away from the Salem 7 because they were in the house as soon as like finally the doors did open for them and they were able to get through. But I'm not really sure how it works if the Salem 7 could just go through those same doors and then they're down there too, or if they have to do something else to get down there.
Yeah. I mean, they
are a coven, so they could probably do it themselves. But it seemed like they were down there, at least in that first trial, right? You said it seemed like
I think that might have been
hallucination.
I think it was a hallucination though from the poison. So, I mean, the door closes behind Agatha, and it's solid stone afterwards. Okay. So they definitely didn't come in through there. If they do come in after her at all, pretty sure that Aubrey Plaza's character is going to end up down there with him at some point. She's been in the trailers.
Yeah, when she comes out of the
how she gets there, we really don't know. But
we're going to need a new Green Witch.
Yeah. So kind of the format for the show seems like going forward anyways is going to be that each episode's probably going to be a different trial, which is kind of cool. So the first 2 episodes kind of set up that they get to the road. Now they have to start doing these trials, and it kind of give me like one trial for each school of magic, I'm assuming. Like this one had to be done with potions.
So
Yeah.
The other ones is clairvoyance and protection.
It's a divination. Yeah. Protection. Green witch. I don't know what Agatha's. I mean, obviously she has like purple magic, but I'm not sure what that represents.
Yeah, the dark magic. I don't know.
But yeah, so obviously this one, and kind of teen sets it up, right? He's like, well, yeah, you guys don't have powers here, but you still have your witchcraft, which is kind of like your physical magic. Yeah, it's your actual like crafting, which played a major factor in this first trial, which they physically had to gather ingredients to brew like an antidote. You know?
Yeah, Joe Locke is pretty funny as teen. I like when he's doing his like, how do you spell wife's ale or ale's wife or whatever?
Yeah.
The wine.
Yeah.
Poor Sharon, she drank so much and her face was all swollen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mrs. Hart, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know who Sharon is.
I don't know who Sharon is either. It's funny. They read the riddle, and Amber and I are sitting there watching it. Like as soon as they finished the riddle, Amber's all wine, and I was like, "What?" And I had to like rethink about it, and I was like, "Yeah, maybe that kind of makes sense." Then Sharon's all wine. I was like, "What?" Like Amber totally called it. Yeah, I was impressed. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So
impressive, most impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So they drank the wine, which Agatha tried to dump hers out in the plant, and then she ended up still having to drink it. And
just refilled, and then she threw the glass on the ground, broke.
Not on the upholstery.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And it's just one part I thought was a little bit weird with the shooting after that when she broke that glass. That she picked the other, I forgot her name, the protection witch.
Yeah.
She picks up the cup before it even starts filling up, and she's just holding it, and it's all.
Yeah.
Like, why would she know to do that? Like, you should have just waited, like, let it fill up a little bit, and then she picks it up. I don't know. That was a little odd for me, just the way they edited that.
I think it was just the that she knew like this is something that had to happen, and they
were on a timer, like they was getting to the very end. So
yeah,
it sucks that that Sharon Davis ended up succumbing to the poison.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of end the episode saying that she's dead, so kind of assuming she is.
They need to have Rio come back as the Green Witch at some point.
Yeah, so we kind of skipped over that real quick, but yeah,
the Green Witch.
So the divination witch basically told her, or like wrote down some names on a list of who she needed to collect for her coven.
Yeah,
and one of them wasn't a name; it was a symbol, and it was a black heart. And we already heard that, you know, Aubrey Plaza's character, Rio, that she has a black heart. Yeah. Like it was kind of set it up, and then the
scene with them when they're fighting in the house, with her knife and everything, like that was very, very sexual. That whole scene, like the whole talk, all the talking, everything was very, very sexually charged. Like they may have been past lovers or something.
Maybe. I mean, Amber and I had a brief conversation about that too. And it's like, I mean, obviously they could have been lovers and she could still have a child with a man, but you know, sure. Like, I don't know. I kind of see that, but like, I think it was more from Aubrey Plaza's character than from Agatha.
Agatha broke her heart, you know, like I think they probably were in some kind of love and Agatha probably used her.
That's why she has a black heart now.
Maybe.
She killed her heart.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. Possibly. There is some speculation and some thoughts that I had about Rio's character that I was like wondering who she is. Her knife looked a little bit similar to the tarot cards that they put out for Agatha All Along with the death card. So I started doing some more research into it, and apparently a lot of other people are suspecting the same thing, that she may actually be Death, like Lady Death in the comics, who has, you know, a lot of history, but in parts of it are love relationships with both Deadpool and at one point Thanos. So that'd be kind of interesting seeing Aubrey Plaza playing Lady Death going forward in the rest of the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Deadpool just joined the MCU, so I wouldn't be overly surprised if she is Death, that we do see some sort of connection with them later. I don't know if we will with Thanos. I feel like a big part of the connection with Thanos would have already happened, because that was his whole motivation for stamping away half of the entire population of everything, was to impress Death, and that wasn't his motivation in the other movies. So I don't know, and he's technically gone, although we got,
King Thanos
and like Secret Wars and things coming up that we could see different iterations of Thanos.
True.
So
maybe that one did do it for death, that's why he became the king,
Yeah, maybe.
and she's the queen.
Maybe.
I don't know, but either way, it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it.
But yeah, so they drank the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the wine was a poison, and the timer was literally just their countdown timer for how long it would take for them essentially to die and to fail this trial. So
Yeah.
They had to rely on the potions witch, which I'm forgetting her name right now.
Jennifer Kale, something like
Kale
that.
sounds right. Yeah,
Kale.
I think it is Kale. Yeah. So they have to kind of collect some stuff. She's a potions witch, so they need to create an antidote for the poison.
I have newt or whatever.
Yeah,
things
so
that were like weird like terms for like honey and stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of the things in it being she's like, I can't remember what it was, the rotting corpse of a 3 million year old rotting corpse, and they're like, petroleum products. Like,
yeah. So they look for
gasoline
gas
or something, right?
there, but they look for petroleum jellies, and I guess like her products are natural.
They're not all natural. Yeah. Although it's kind of weird because I guess isn't that natural? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. So they were able to use it in there, and then it wasn't quite working. They were forgetting something, like the blood of it unpoisoned. I don't know
how convenient. Yeah.
Yeah. So they cut Teen's hand. Luckily, he was there and dripped his blood in, put all their hair and said the stuff, and then they were able to. Well, they had to use a sous vide to heat it up,
which is interesting.
I don't think it boiled it too fast.
Sure, I don't know that sous vide ever brings water up to a full boil.
Wouldn't have been that fast, no.
Oh no, heck no. To get up to like 150, 130, depending on what you're cooking. Obviously, I use a sous vide for a lot of cooking, so I'm quite familiar with them. And I was like, yeah, they explain what a sous vide is, but they do not boil your water.
It's just brings a fancy cooking tool.
Anyways, yeah.
Definitely. Dad loves his.
Definitely would have taken longer probably than the amount of time they had on the timer to even get hot enough before. Anyways.
Yeah, whatever. Like if they literally put that in there with 3 minutes left or whatever it was. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like boiling. I was like, what?
Whatever. It's a show.
Yeah.
But it was a smart way to heat up the water.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she shouldn't have said boil. Maybe she said we need to heat this up.
Yeah,
that would have been better because it does heat it up, and depending on the wattage and the quality of the sous vide, it can heat it up fast. I have two of them, and one of them.
Or maybe it is a little bit more magical because they're on the witch's row. Maybe it can heat up faster. Who knows?
That's true.
It's a magical house that they walked into.
Yeah, I mean the wine glasses fill themselves, so.
Yeah.
That bottle of wine alone, Amber and I were kind of laughing because like Miss Hart like poured herself a big giant glass. I was like, dude, that would have been like 3/4 of the bottle right there. Like those bottles don't hold as much as you would think because the glass is pretty thick.
And then she refilled it again.
Yeah, the wine would have been gone. No one else would have got any. So it's a magical bottle
for sure. Yeah, that's funny. She's drinking it. She's Agatha. She's cheap. Whatever.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. She did not. I mean, she knew it was gonna mess with her. But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. So each of them starts to hallucinate, right? And they each got kind of their own little like internal like struggle or a nightmare they're dealing with, their own little trial they have to get through.
Yeah.
So we do start to learn a little bit about some of these other characters, but that was where it was mostly creepy, I think.
Yeah.
There's kind of some creepy stuff going down.
Like that. What was that? The guy that got the potions, Jennifer Kale or whatever. He was like. Many dunked her head in the water. And stuff.
Yeah. It looked like he was like almost like some sort of like a religious leader or something. Yeah, and he was like trying to drown her or torture her.
Yeah, and then I'm really bad with their names, but the protection witch, she saw her mom.
Yeah.
That was interesting. And she was like, "Your grandmother just died, and now it's my turn." And
so
it was facing their fears essentially.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal, and the whole thing ended up being almost like an escape room, right? Like they had to figure out how to get out of this room because they were sealed in inside this house.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, salt water starts trying to leak through, like they're gonna underwater all of a sudden. It was weird.
It was really weird.
It was cool. I liked it. Yeah. And then they had to go in the oven, and she's like, "I'm not going to oven." I had a friend who had a really nice house.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I like those little lines like that, making references to like fairy tales and stories,
other witches.
Yeah, so
that is fun.
So they eventually get out of there, and unfortunately, we find out afterwards that Miss Hart didn't make it. They go down. I was kind of joking. I was like, "It's gonna be like a water slide," and it really was. It's like Goonies, man. Like going down the water slide.
That was funny.
But yeah. So we don't know what the next trial is gonna be, but I imagine it's gonna be like a totally different setting, right? They were like all like preppy and stuff in this one. Like changed their clothes as soon as they went into the house.
Yep.
So I imagine each one's going to be a different theme. Like we've seen stuff like a slumber party type thing in the trailers. They're using like a Ouija board or something. We're going to probably see something like that coming up.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be fun, man. I'm liking the format they're using for this, where we're going to get like a little bit of a different story for each one, being a separate trial. And
there's other than the first 2 that came out, it's 1 episode every week on Wednesday at 6 p.m., right? Comes out at 6 p.m.
So.
Except for the last 2 episodes come out on October 30th, like right before Halloween.
Yeah.
That's the last 2. They're going to release 2 in the beginning and 2 in the end, and then 1 each week in the middle.
Yeah. So it's got to be 8 episodes then, right?
Yeah.
We're at 3, and then we got,
It's not even October yet.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the Doug and Corey show. Be sure to leave a comment down below letting us know how you're enjoying this show.
Be sure to like and subscribe and check out our merch. Have a marvelous day.
Billy Kaplan has, it was like Rebecca.
Because they said
Kaplan
they cast people, other Kaplans in the show.
In the comics too.
His actual parents.
Yeah, and then.
But that's in the comics, it's Billy Maximoff's spirit or whatever that's reincarnated in that body.
Something like that.
Yeah, just like
someone who's
Tommy Maximoff goes back into Tommy Shepard, I think it is, for Speed, for the Young Avengers or whatever, when they're older. Something like that's going to happen probably in the Vision show with Tommy. I'm just guessing. They're going to have to bring him back, and then they'll have a Young Avengers after that.
I think they're going to make it more about Agatha than Wanda as far as Billy's character. I don't think it's going to. I have a feeling it's not going to be tied in really to Wanda.
Might not be. They completely change it. They can completely change it from the comic.
I think they're going to. I think they're going to.
One could be like Wanda's kid. The other one could be Agatha's kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even know if we're going to get Tommy.
Maybe not in this show.
No, I mean, I don't know if we will at all.
Well, we might not, but I think we will.
We might. I'm not saying we're not. I'm just saying, like, there hasn't been any projects that's hinted that he's going to make an appearance. So
Vision.
Maybe.
The Vision series.
Maybe.
That's my thought.
Something about the teen, I think. Because he's kind of a key character.
Is the teen an agent of Mephisto? Because that was one of the things they said about Nicholas Scratch being maybe an agent of Mephisto.
Yeah.
And if it's his spirit in there.
Yeah. You think they dropped that Mephisto line there just for like people like Eric Voss?
Probably, but maybe not.
Like people like us.
If anything, they may show Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto at the very end of the show.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
Assuming he's tied into this at all, he might not be. Are we going to discuss Aubrey Plaza's character? Even though she's only been in one episode.
I think we can talk about it's not anything. There's definitely a lot of stuff out there because when I was researching, I had that kind of feeling that maybe that's who she was. Which we'll get into, but I looked it up and there was a lot of people that had that speculation. And then I found the picture, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be out there soon. So I don't mind talking about it and say, hey, this is all spoilers and all rumors.
That shot of the skull in the cloak though, wasn't that one of the Salem 7? That was in that last episode, wasn't it?
Possibly, but maybe they're hinting.
It shows up and
what if that was her?
It might have been. I don't
know.
But she told her to go soon because the Salem 7 was going to come find her.
But that was in the road though, and I don't think the Salem 7 was down there. Not that they couldn't get down there. Hey guys, welcome back to the Doug and Corey show.
In this video, we're going to do an open spoiler discussion for Agatha All Along.
Is teen an agent of Mephisto? Stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the Doug and Corey show.
In this video, we're going to do a live... Nope, not live.
Dead.
I was going to say a live reaction to the show that's not live because we already watched the first three. Anyways, sorry. Do it again.
Hey guys, that sounded weird.
All right, guys. So the first 3 episodes of Agatha All Along have been released, and I'm really enjoying the show so far.
Yeah, so this is a open spoiler discussion for those first 3 episodes. So if you haven't watched it yet,
go check
heads up. You may get some spoilers if you keep watching.
Yeah, you probably will for sure get some spoilers. So definitely go watch the episodes first, then come on back.
Or just get spoiled. I don't know.
That's fine if you don't.
Whatever you want to do, it's your life.
As they say, if it feels good, do it.
Who's they?
Mike Munoz.
He's a they? They, them?
Yeah, he might be. I haven't asked him his pronouns, but I just said his. I asked him his pronouns.
Canceled. He's gonna cancel. They are gonna cancel us.
Oh,
I don't know.
We're both canceled now.
All right.
Oh,
bye, guys.